So if you're using a pillow behind the knees can be a good idea. And you're resting that pillow on your calves. And then you might be able to support your hips and your thighs a bit better. Find some space between your knees. In that space, you can allow the belly and the torso to drop between those thighs. And then walk your hands forward, lengthening through your spine, and allow the head to drop. And now gauge if the head is hanging and it's kind of tight on the neck. You could always bend your elbows, lift your hands, and support your head with your hands. You can always bring that block along and rest your forehead on the block. And remember, your block has different heights. So adapt it, make it work for you. And then once you've gotten yourself settled in, give yourself the opportunity to arrive, to kind of experience the pose, see how it feels in your body this morning. And then let's try to stir away from the practice being kind of a performance-based practice, you know, the movements, the poses that I guide you into, they're just opportunities to explore. So there's nothing to accomplish that much with the pose itself. There's no necessary end pose. They're just movements that allow you to just see where you're at, feel your body, notice what's there. And then, of course, breathe. So again, your practice is an opportunity to breathe, to be with your breath, to be with yourself for a little while. And sometimes it's a nice place to be. Sometimes it's a bit, tricky. But give it an opportunity and it can change. You know, as you practice, as you move through the next hour of breath and movement, things shift. And at first, maybe being with the body is a bit, not that pleasant, maybe. But things might shift, so give it an opportunity. So being with that breath for a few more cycles here. And feel the ground close to you. And see if you can feel that support of the ground. And if you haven't already, try to soften a bit more through that body, through the arms, through the neck, through the shoulders, through those legs. And let's begin to emphasize a bit more the inhales. So as you breathe in, feel your rib cage expand. You might feel the front of the body move towards your thighs. And then with your breath out, draw the belly towards your spine, but let the exhale be kind of an afterthought. So don't place too much effort into it right now. And then with your next inhale, see if you can feel that expansion through the back ribs, so the back body. And then again, exhale, let it be that just dropping out of the mouth, not too much effort. And then again, focus on the front of the body with your next inhale. Feel rib cage expand towards your thighs. And let it go, exhale. And then focus on the back body, those back ribs expanding. And then let it go, exhale. And then let's focus now a bit more on those exhales. So begin to make them a bit more engaging, Engage through that lower belly and begin to breathe a bit more through the nose. And then let's give a little stretch through the side bodies. So with your arms reaching forward, then walk them over towards the left. See if you can keep your right sit bone sinking down towards the right heel. And then maybe reach your right fingers just a little further. You might even come onto your fingertips, palms lifted, elbows lifted off the ground. Take a full breath in into the right side of the body. Full breath out. And then walk those hands through center and then all the way to the left side. And same thing here. See if you can sink your left sit bone down just a little bit more and reach a bit further with your left fingers. Left side of the body gets that extra space as you breathe in and as you breathe out. And then walk those hands back through center and then bring them towards you. And we're coming up into a table pose. If you had a blanket or a pillow behind your knees, move it out of the way. If you had a block under your head, move it out of the way too. And then as you find your table pose, your hands more or less under your shoulders, your knees more or less under your hips. And then before doing anything else, draw the belly towards your spine and broaden through your upper back. Back of the neck lengthens, tailbone reaches back, and top of the head reaches forward. Find a little bit of engagement through your legs, so press down through the feet, tops of the feet, shins and knees. Press down through those fingers. With your next inhale, drop the belly, lift through your chest, cow pose. As you exhale, round your spine, send that back body up towards the ceiling. And a few more times with your own breath. Inhale. Rounding with your exhale. And again. And let's do a few more. Follow your own rhythm, your own breath. Allow your elbows to bend a bit as you move between cow and cat. And then let's do one more. Inhale. And round as you exhale. Come onto your fingertips. Bring your hands a bit closer to your knees and really push through the fingertips. Send that back body up. Drop the chin towards your chest. Draw the belly towards your spine. Take another breath in. And a breath out. And then come back onto your palms. We're going to work a bit with those wrists. So turn your fingers towards the outside. So left fingers towards the left, right fingers towards the right. And then left fingers towards you, so towards your knees, any amount. And then right fingers towards your right knee, any amount too. And then let's turn them again. Left fingers to the left, right fingers to the right, forward. And now towards one another. So left fingers to the right and right fingers to the left. And then do that again. Forward, out, towards the knees, any amount. And then out, forward, and in. And then stay with those fingers towards one another. So the insides of your wrists out, pointing towards the sides. And then from here, just shift from side to side. Stay pressing through your fingers. Take a breath in and take a breath out. And then bring yourself back through center. Fingers are going to point forward and come back into some cows and cats. Drop the belly, lift the chest, inhale. Exhale, round your spine, and we're going to add those feet. So as you inhale now into cow, tuck your toes, stretch the soles of the feet. As you exhale into cat, untuck your toes, press the tops of the feet into the mat. Again, inhale. Exhale. And one more, just like that. Breath in. And a breath out. Nice job. Find a neutral spine. Now keep your knees and hips in line. Walk your hands wide and then forward. So coming into puppy pose, giving those shoulders here, the front of the body, a nice stretch. Dropping the head, the chest towards the ground and sending your sit bones high. Head maybe hangs, or maybe you can bring the forehead to the mat. Breath in and a breath out. One more inhale and exhale. And then from here, we're coming all the way onto the belly. So bend your elbows, bring your chest forward, and then lower those hips, that belly, that chest, all the way to the ground. Your hands are going to come under your shoulders. Your gaze is going to be down. Bring your feet to your legs hip width. And as you inhale, push into those hands gently, lift through your chest, but keep your gaze down so the back of your neck stays really long. And then exhale and lower. So gentle cobras, don't take it too far. Engage through your legs. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. So really squeeze the glutes again. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. And one more time. Inhale to lift. And exhale as we lower. From here, push back, coming through table pose or through all fours, and then tuck your toes, and we're coming straight into downward facing dog. So lifting those knees and those hips. Adjust your hands and your feet as you need to. And then stay here. We'll stay for about 5 breaths. So you're more than welcome to move a bit, bending and straightening your knees, lifting, lowering your heels. Give your shoulders a little bit of a roll. Maybe looking from side to side. Focus on that breath. And remember that you don't have to straighten your legs here. So bending the knees, perfectly good, actually better than overextending as always. Another full breath in. And a full breath out. One more inhale. And exhale. So moving between plank and downward facing dog, make it smooth. So not too much effort either here. Do it with your breath. You don't have to come out into a full plank. You don't have to get all exhausted. Okay, so as you inhale, just gently ripple forward, those shoulders more or less over your wrists, and then exhale, gently move back, lifting those hips up and back. And again, inhale, coming out and forward, your plank pose. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Do that again. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale and moving back. Connect it with your breath one more time. Inhale, come out into your plank pose. And exhale, move back into downward facing dog. Take another full breath in here. Full breath out. And then with your next inhale, let's walk those hands towards the feet. So we're coming towards the back of the mat. We'll meet there in a forward fold. Hold on to opposite elbows. Let the head hang. Let the neck relax. Bend in those knees. Lift those sit bones. Take a full breath in. And then on your exhale, bend into your right knee. Straighten through the left. Get that left hamstring stretch. And then inhale, straighten right knee and switch. Left knee bends. And then again, inhale, straighten. Switch, right knee bends. And inhale, straighten, and left knee bends. And now as you inhale, bend into both knees, release those elbows and rise into a chair pose, reaching your arms forward and up by your ears. So you're sitting down, imaginary chair here, draw the belly towards the spine, send the weight into your heels. You might be able to even lift your toes, wiggle them a bit. And if you feel yourself kind of hunching forward, see if you can lift your torso. Take another breath in, another breath out. And then push the floor away, straighten through your legs, reach your arms tall, and as you exhale, right arm down, come into a side stretch, reach up and over with your left. Coming back through center, inhale. Take it to the other side as you exhale. Back through center, inhale, interlace your fingers overhead, turn the palms towards the ceiling and push those palms away. If you're feeling adventurous, maybe those heels lift off the ground. Some keep your gaze steady. Breath in, breath out. One more inhale, pushing through those palms. And then as you exhale, heels lower if they're lifted, arms go wide. We're folding again. Bend into those knees, arms wide, all the way down. With your next inhale, walk your hands forward, come all the way out into a plank pose. So those hands are more or less under your shoulders. Draw the belly to the spine. Take a full breath in. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. Lift those sit bones up and back. Push down through your heels. Breathing here. In through the nose, out through the nose. See if you can lengthen your breath just a little bit more. And then take another breath in. Let's all lift those heels coming onto the balls of the feet, maybe even onto the tiptoes. And then as you exhale, bend in your knees and lower your knees all the way to the mat. Bring your hands under shoulders and we're back in table pose. You can untuck your toes. As you breathe in, left arm comes out to the side and then up towards the ceiling. Turn your torso towards the left. As you exhale, left arm under right thread and just look over to the right side. Inhale, open up again. Broaden through the chest. Exhale, thread. Inhale, open. And exhale to thread. Now as you inhale, let's open. And now swim that left arm all the way forward, as far forward as you can. Plant your fingertips and come onto your forearm. Once you're on your right forearm, you might be able to walk your left fingers a little further, but keep your hips over your knees. Breathing here. See if you can feel that side body stretch, that stretch through your armpit. One more breath in. And a breath out. And then walking that left hand back towards you, come back into your table pose and switching sides. So right arm comes out to the side, up towards the ceiling as your chest turns towards the right. And then as you exhale, thread that arm under the left. Get that stretch through that right side of your upper back. And then again, inhale, open. Exhale, thread. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread. And now as you inhale, let's open. And then take that swim forward. Right arm reaches forward. Plant your fingertips. And then you can come on that left forearm. You might be able to walk those right fingers a little further. And then push your right sit bone slightly back. And that will emphasize that stretch through the right side of the torso. Breath here. And one more inhale. And exhale. Walk that right hand back towards you. Come back into your table pose. Tuck your toes and return to downward facing dog. Sit bones lift up. Push the floor away with those hands. Relax your neck. You might look from side to side. Full inhale. And a full exhale. As you breathe in, we're walking those feet now towards the hands. So coming towards the top of the mat, we'll meet there in a forward fold. Hold on to opposite elbows. Take a full inhale. And then bend into your right knee, straighten through your left. And then switch. Bend into that left, straighten the right. See if you can lift your right sit bone just a little bit more. Press down through your right heel and then again switch. And one more time and switch. And then let's bend into both knees, rising up again into chair pose. Arms can come up by your ears and then just bring them down to your heart. Interlace your fingers and let's find some circles with the wrists in one direction. And then switching direction. And then release that rotation. Press those feet into the ground as you straighten the legs. Reach your arms tall, coming all the way up. Left arm down, side stretch. Come back through center, breathing in. Take it over to the other side and breathing out. Back through center. Inhale, interlace those fingers. Find the awkward way of interlacing. Turn the palms towards the ceiling. And again, get that whole body stretch as you push your palms up. Maybe float those heels off the ground. Tuck that tailbone, engage through that lower belly, squeeze through the glutes, breathing in, breathing out. One more inhale, wherever you are. And then as you exhale, folding forward, lowering those heels, arms go wide, all the way down. Halfway lift on your inhale. And as you exhale, fold. Take a moment here, find a bit more space between your feet. So you could bring them even to the edges of your mat. So it's a wide leg stance. And then folding. Your hands maybe are behind your legs. You could grab onto your ankles or your calves. And you might use that grip to encourage your chest to come a bit closer to your thighs. Allow the neck to relax, the head to hang. Breath in and a breath out. One more inhale and exhale. So we're going to stay with this wide leg stance. The feet are wide. We're going to bend into those knees. We're going to try and get those thighs more or less parallel to the ground and get your torso also more or less parallel to the ground. Okay, so it's kind of like a half squat, right? And then from here, see if you can bring your arms by your ears and reach forward. So your fingers are reaching forward, your sit bones are reaching back, and your torso and thighs are staying parallel to the ground. Gaze is down. See if you can broaden through that upper back. Press a bit more through the pinky toe side of your feet. Relax through the face. Take another breath in. Take another breath out. Nice job. One more inhale. And then as you exhale, lower those hands and come back into that forward fold. So straightening through your legs, allow the head to hang. If you can grab again onto the ankles or the calves, use that to help your chest come a bit closer to your thighs. Breathing here. One more inhale and exhale. And then bring your hands to your hips, find a little bend in those knees and slowly unroll your spine, come all the way up to stand. Once you are standing, gaze forward and then heel to toe, your feet back to hip width. And find yourself in mountain pose. Reach your arms all the way towards the ceiling, breath in. And then as you exhale, right arm down, side stretch. Inhale, coming back through center, taking it to the other side as you exhale. Inhale through center. This time bring the hands behind you. Interlace them at your lower back. Open up through the chest. Knuckles are reaching down. Maybe the gaze lifts up. Breath in. And a breath out. As you inhale, neutral spine, release your hands, reach them tall. And now as you exhale, left foot is going to step back and we're coming into warrior one. So remind about your warrior one stance. Look at your feet and get them to be on tracks. And those tracks are going to be hip width. So left foot is in line with your left hip, right foot is in the line of your right hip. So imagine train tracks. Okay? So back foot is slightly at an angle, it's completely planted. And you want to press a bit more through the pinky toe side of your back foot. You don't want to cave into the big toe side. So engaging through those left glutes, bend into your right knee. Think about your right knee tracking forward just as your toes or middle toe. And then once you've got your legs settled, reach your arms tall. Breath in and a breath out. See if you can draw the belly towards the spine. See if you can let your tailbone drop straight down towards the floor. One more inhale and exhale. We're going to keep the warrior one stance and we're going to get a stretch through the shoulders. So with your next exhale, left hand is going to drop behind the head. So bend into your left elbow. Use your right hand to draw that left elbow closer to your head. And then find that resistance. Push the head back into your elbow. Strong through the legs. Keep pressing through that back foot. Squeeze through that left glute. Breath in and a breath out. With your next inhale, release. Reach both arms towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, bring the hands behind you. Interlace them just like we did in standing before. Send those knuckles down. Open up through your chest. And then option here to fold. Reach your chest forward and down. Keep your warrior one legs. Your knuckles are reaching back. The crown of the head is reaching forward. Notice the strength here in your legs. Notice the kind of the pull in opposite directions with your knuckles and the top of your head. Another breath in and another breath out. With your next inhale, lift that torso if you were folded. Release your hands, reach them tall, and we're coming forward. So use this transition to play with your balance practice. Bring your weight into that front leg, lighten up on that back foot, and then see if with control you can step it forward, plant it, and bring hands down to your heart, and then all the way down by your side. You're back in your mountain pose. Take a full breath in. And take a full breath out. With your next inhale, reach your arms tall. And as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, lengthening through your spine. And exhale, plant your hands, step your feet all the way back, downward facing dog. 3 times into plank and back into down dog, just like we did at the beginning. Do it smoothly, not too much effort. See if you can pair it with your breath. Make it feel good. Inhale, come out into plank, unrolling that spine. Exhale, move back into downward facing dog. 2 more, your own pace. We'll meet back in downward facing dog, taking a full breath in, taking a full breath out. We're going to make our way to the top of the mat once again. Here, option, you could do the walking, just like we usually do, walk the feet towards the hands. You could also do a little hop. So if you want to play with the hopping, you want to bend into your knees, coming onto the balls of the feet. Your knees are going to hover over the ground, then look forward towards your hands, and then take a hop and just see where you get to. You don't have to get all the way to your hands. You could come halfway up. And then once you get there, make your way to the top of the mat, find a halfway lift, inhale, and fold forward on your exhale. As you breathe in, rising all the way up, arms can go wide and overhead. And then exhale, bring hands to your heart, and then down by your side and back in mountain pose. With your next inhale, arms will lift. Exhale, left arm down, side stretch, reaching up and over. Inhale, back through center. Taking it to the other side, exhale. Inhale, center. Hands behind you. This time switch your interlace, so it might be the one that feels a bit more awkward. Send those knuckles down. Find that opening through your chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another. Take an inhale. Exhale. Now release those hands back into a neutral spine. Reach your arms tall. And warrior one. The right foot this time is going to step back. Taking your time to settle in, to find that stable base. Remember those tracks. That's going to help your hips stay pointing forward and keep your knees safe. Sometimes if the feet are on the same track, then we've got to torque through the knees, and that usually is not that great for them. Once you've got your legs, reach your arms tall, take a full breath in, find space in the side body. And then as you exhale, bend into your right elbow. The hand is going to come behind you, and then use your left hand to draw that right elbow in a little further. And then find that resistance, so your head is going to push back into that elbow. Find that breath. Nice job. You can play with a bend in your front knees, or bending it a bit more, straightening it a little bit more, finding the right place for you. And then with your next inhale, release those arms, reach them tall. And as you exhale, bring them behind you. Find again that same kind of awkward interlace of your hands. Then the knuckles down, open up through your chest. Maybe staying here, or maybe hinge through that left hip to reach your chest forward and down. Keep pressing down through that back foot. Long through the back of the neck. Find your breath. It's also a nice practice in balance here. So stay focused with your gaze. And then when you're ready, rising up if you were folded, release your hands, reaching them overhead. And then again, practicing that balance transition. So weight comes forward. Lift your back heel, coming onto the ball of the foot. Lighten up on that back foot. And then step that back foot forward and plant it. And let those hands lower through the heart and all the way down by your side. Palms facing forward. And we're back in mountain pose. A good place to recover that breath if you kind of lost it. Breath in and a breath out. One more inhale and exhale. Reaching your arms wide and up, breathing in, and then finding a forward fold, breathing out. Halfway lift on the inhale, lengthen through that spine, and then plant your hands and step your feet back, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Now with your next inhale, lift through your heels. So you're coming onto the balls of the feet, maybe even tiptoes, and with control, lower your knees to the mat. And we'll meet in a table pose. Adjust your hands under your shoulders and knees under your hips. Coming into cow and cat, breathing in as you drop the belly, chest forward, gaze up, spread through your sit bones. Cat pose, rounding through the spine, chin tucks towards your chest. And then again, inhale. Exhale. And one more. Inhale. And round, exhale. Now find a neutral spine. We'll play a bit with those legs. As you inhale, left leg is going to rise. And then on your exhale, draw that knee into your chest, round your spine. Inhale, lengthen it out. Exhale, bend that knee and bring it towards your left elbow, outside of the left elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left knee crosses towards the right elbow. Inhale, lengthen. And now cross that left foot over towards the right side and plant the ball of the foot. So you're flexing the foot, your heel is pushing away, and then draw your left hip in. So rather than opening the left hip up and towards the left, see if you can tuck it in. So you're moving that left hip bone towards the right hip. Okay? Keep pushing through that left heel. Breathe in and breathe out. And now if you want to emphasize that stretch through the left side, turn your gaze towards that left heel. So you're finding a bit of a C shape with the left side of your torso. Breath in and a breath out. And then returning through center on the inhale, lifting that left leg. And then as you exhale, draw that knee into your chest and hold it there. Full inhale and full exhale. And now just to play with it, see how this works for you. Tuck your right toes, okay? And then see if you can lift your right knee and come all the way into a downward facing dog, but keeping that left knee into your chest. Okay? Let's do that again. Lower your right knee, come back into that kind of table pose with the knee tucked into the chest, and then lift that right knee. Like if you were coming into this three-legged dog, but you've still got your knee tucked into your chest. Let's do that one more time. There you go, nice job. And then we'll come back into table pose, extend that left leg all the way out, and then plant the ball of the foot. So that left knee is lifted, and you're just getting a nice stretch through the back of your ankle and your calf. Maybe drop the hips or open through your chest. So a bit of a cow pose with your spine. Another breath in. And breath out. And then bend into your left knee and return to your table pose. Let's take a moment in child's pose. Big toes touch, slide your knees a bit wider, and let your sit bones drop towards your heels. Reach your hands a little further forward and let your chest drop towards the ground. About 3 to 5 cycles of breath. And maybe returning to that kind of softness that we started in child's pose, feeling again the ground supporting you. And reminding yourself about your practice being an opportunity to breathe, to explore. So no goals here or boxes to tick off. Let's take one more breath. And then as you're ready, we'll meet back in a table pose, and we'll do all of that on the other side. So make sure you're aligning your knees under your hips again and your hands more or less under your shoulders. Broaden through that upper back and lengthen through your spine. And then when you're ready, it will be your right leg that will rise behind you, so lengthen it out. And then as you exhale, draw that right knee into your chest, so find that rounding through your spine. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, right knee towards right elbow. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, right knee towards left elbow. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale, draw that knee into your chest and hold it. Okay, from here, again, we can play around a bit with that three-legged dog. So if you feel adventurous, tuck your left toes. And then from here, when you're ready, push up. So lifting that left knee, send your sit bones up and back as if you were coming into your down dog, but keep that right knee close to your belly, chest. And then again, you could come back down with control, gently, and then lift. Nice job. And then again, one more time. And lift it back, nice. And then we'll meet back with that left knee down. And then extend your right leg all the way out. Really extend through that hip flexor. And then cross that right foot over to the left side. Plant through the ball of your foot. Push through that heel. And then again, don't let your right hip lift and open. Keep it tucked in. And then maybe find a stretch through the left side, through the right side of the body by sending your gaze towards that left heel. Breath in. And a breath out. See if you can push your right ribs towards the right side. And the right side of your waist gets a bit more space. One more breath. And then let's bring ourselves back through center, lifting that right foot, lengthen it out. And then we're just going to plant the ball of the foot straight out behind us. Keep the knee lifted. Give a little push through your hands. And get that extra stretch through your calf and the back of your ankle. One more inhale. And then on your exhale, bend into that right knee, lower it down. And once again, let's visit child's pose. Big toes to touch, slide your knees wide. Maybe they'll go a little wider since this is like the third one we've done today. Sit bones towards your heels and slide your hands forward and chest and head towards the ground. As always, feel free to use your props, your block, pillow, blanket. And come back to your breath. And then with your next inhale, coming back up, coming through all fours. So again, realign those knees and then making your way into downward facing dog, tucking your toes and lifting those hips. And make a point of drawing the chin towards the chest here, keeping your shoulder blades broad, keeping space between shoulders and ears. See if you can feel the length in the back of your neck. And then soften through your jaw and your eyes. Take another breath. And then let's walk those feet towards the hands. And we'll meet at the top of the mat in a forward fold. And in this forward fold, let your knees bend quite a lot. And so much that your chest, your belly will be almost like resting on your thighs. And then you might be able to wrap your arms behind your legs. But if that's not available, don't worry, just do it in front of your legs. The more you bend your knees, the more your torso can rest on your thighs and the more available it will be to bring your arms behind your legs. See if you can let your head hang, taking a breath in and taking a breath out. Relax once again through the face. One more inhale and exhale. And then slowly releasing those elbows, maybe arms and head hang as you lift through the spine, stacking one vertebra over the other and rising all the way up to stand. And we'll meet in mountain pose, giving your shoulders a roll, drop them down the back, turn your palms to face forward and gazing forward. And if it's comfortable to close your eyes for a moment here, do so. Just noticing any effects from the movements we just did. Noticing how not only the physical body is feeling, but noticing any states in the mind. And then if your eyes were closed, let's open them and let's focus that gaze. We're going to play a bit with tree pose. You could use your block if you wish. You could also just have a wall or a piece of furniture nearby to rest a hand on. But we're going to ground through the right foot, the right leg. So take a moment to feel that foot on the ground. Spread your toes. Get as much surface of contact as is available. And then don't lock that leg. So make sure that there's a kind of a micro bend in that right knee. So your thigh is engaged, the glute is engaged. And then when you're ready, just lift your left heel and then pivot on the ball of the foot to turn your knee towards the left. So your left toes are also turning towards the left. Okay. And then once you've got that opening happening through your left hip, you might choose to stay here. If you have your block, you might place the toes on the block at any height. If you wish to go a little further, you might rest that left foot on your shin or calf, or you might lift it over that knee and bring it to the inner thigh. Again, don't lose the engagement through your standing leg. So if your lifted foot is pressing against the standing leg, push back through the standing leg into that lifted foot. That's going to give you extra stability. Draw the belly towards your spine, lengthen up. Keep your gaze steady, keep your breath steady. Hands can stay by your side, resting on that piece of furniture. You could bring them to your heart. Or if you're feeling extra adventurous today, maybe you're reaching them up towards the ceiling. Stay calm. Stay with your breath. And then just the same way we came in, we're moving out. So if your arms were lifted, bring them down. And then let's lower that, those left toes all the way down. So you've still got that opening through your left knee. And then pivot on those toes, knee points forward, and then lower the whole of that left foot on the ground. Notice the weight now transferring into that left side, a little lightness through that right foot. See if you can lift all 10 toes, give them a little wiggle. Maybe shift your weight forward and back. Lengthen again through that spine. And then begin to concentrate a bit more on the grounding through the left leg, the left foot. Again, engage through your quad, lift through that kneecap. So think about your quad lifting your kneecap towards your hips and squeeze through that left glute. And then bend into your right knee, coming onto the ball of that right foot. And then again, pivot on the ball of the foot as you turn the knee out to the side. Your toes are also pointing out. Okay, so that's a good way of keeping that knee aligned and stable. And then perfectly good to stay here. Sometimes this is enough of a challenge for our balance and focus. But if you need more, know that you can use the block. You can use your shin. You can bring it a little higher to that inner thigh. And remember, those opposing forces are going to give you that stability. So don't let the lifted foot just push into the standing leg. Let the standing leg engage and push it back into that foot. Maybe your arms will lift. And within the challenge, find softness and ease. And then slowly releasing, hands lowered if they were lifted. And then see if you can lower your right foot all the way down to the ground, keeping that opening through the hip. And then pivot on the ball of the foot, knee forward, and then lower that heel. And that right foot comes all the way back onto the ground. Once again, just shift your weight forward and back, wiggle your toes, and then give your shoulders a bit of a roll. Chances are tension built up into those shoulders and into the face, so see if you can let some of that go. And then find some stillness, and if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, close them for a moment here. Come back to your breath. And if your eyes were closed, opening them, reaching your arms overhead, breathing in, and on your exhale, with a nice bend in your knees, fold forward. Inhale into a halfway lift, lengthen your spine, and exhale, plant your hands, step your feet back, and come back into downward facing dog. Take a little pedal through your legs here in your down dog, just like we did at the beginning of practice today. Is shifting your hips a bit from side to side. So loosening up after that balance practice. We were on the legs for quite a bit and they were working hard. So just resetting for a moment, breathing in and breathing out. And then finding stillness for another breath in your downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. And then one more breath in. And then on your exhale, let's lower those knees to the mat. And then we'll come into a seat. So you can swing your feet over towards one side. And then see if you can let your sit bones drop all the way back. And your feet might be free to come forward. So we'll meet in a seat with the knees bent. The feet are going to go wide, and then your hands are going to go onto your shins. And we're finding some seated cows and cats. So as you breathe in, bring your chest forward, lift through your gaze. And then as you breathe out, round through the spine, chin towards the chest, find space in that back body. Let's do that 2 more times. So let yourself kind of glide forward and back on your sit bones and sacrum as you do this. And then again, inhale forward and exhale and taking it back. Nice job. And then neutral spine, bring your feet to hip width. Bring your arms out in front of you. Make sure your feet are well planted. Take a full breath in. And then on your exhale, see if you can come halfway with more or less a neutral spine. So draw your shoulder blades towards one another, broaden through your chest, and press down through your feet. Take another breath in. And now on your exhale, begin to round through your spine. So lower back is going to lower first, chin towards your chest, and then mid back, and then upper back, and at the end, head. All the way down to the ground. Give your knees a hug towards your chest. Maybe shift a bit from side to side. Take a full breath in. And take a full breath out. And then keep your right knee in towards your chest. Lengthen out your left leg. Rest it on the ground. Pause here for an inhale. And an exhale. And then bring that left knee in. Hug it in, lengthen your right leg all the way out onto the ground. Pause there. Full breath in. Full breath out. And then bring both knees into your chest
And then send your knees towards your armpits. So come into this very like passive, not too much effort, happy baby. So just keep your hands on your knees or your shins and just let your heels flop towards your glutes. And use this to neutralize that back body. Get as much of your back body in contact with the mat as possible. Lengthen through the back of your neck. Take another inhale and exhale. And then release your legs. If it's comfortable to lengthen them all the way out onto your mat, do so. We're coming into Shavasana, into our resting position at the end of practice today. So if legs long is not comfortable for the lower back, bend those knees and let your knees rest against one another. And your hands could rest on your belly, or you could let them lengthen by your side. And then allow your next exhale to drop out of the mouth and see if you can feel your body get a bit closer to the ground. Letting go of effort at this point. And for the next couple minutes or so, there is really nothing else to do. And so let yourself explore that. Some days it's easier to drop into it, some days it's a bit more challenging. Just see where you're at, give yourself that opportunity. And then if you've got time and you wish to stay for a bit longer, maybe you choose to do that. If you're ready to move, we'll do it together. So check in with your breath first and find a bit more of an engaged breath. And then use that breath now to gently guide some gentle movement into the body, back into those toes, into those fingers, maybe those ankles and those wrists. You might give your neck a bit of a movement too. Chin moves from one shoulder to the other. Maybe you swallow, maybe you yawn, maybe your eyeballs move under your eyelids. If you feel like stretching those arms overhead, go ahead, breathing in. And then we'll all roll onto one side of the body on the breath out, knees towards the chest, arms supporting the head. Give yourself a full breath in and a full breath out. And then using those hands, gently prop yourself up We'll find a comfortable seat to end practice together. Your hands could rest on your lap or at your heart. Your spine lengthens up. Eyes maybe stay closed. And we'll take this moment, as always, to acknowledge the practice. And then to acknowledge ourselves for choosing to practice today. Then acknowledging all those that make it possible. And all those who practice with us. And we'll end with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.